What's going on, y'all? Today's show presented by Panda Sups. Go to pandasups.com and use code CHAT at checkout to save 30% off and get free shipping. So today's show, I'm going to break down the top destinations of the teams that could go out and sign Josh Gordon if he is reinstated. But before I give you the latest news around him, and before I give you the top 5 teams, I got a little challenge for you. I want you to scroll on down and I want you to vote. Should the NFL reinstate Josh Gordon? If you're like, yeah, Mitch, they absolutely should, I want you to like this video right now. If you're like, no way, Jose, I want you to dislike the video. So Josh Gordon, top destinations coming up right now. All right, let's get around the latest around him. So free agent wide receiver Josh Gordon wants one more chance. I don't even know how many times I've said that here in my NFL career. The 29-year-old wide receiver reached out to Roger Goodell for reinstatement because of multiple indefinite bans for repeat substance abuse violations. It's unclear whether or not he's going to be allowed to play in the NFL again, but this will always remain memories. The memories of Josh Gordon back in 2013, back when he was probably one of the best wide receivers, if not the best wide receiver in the NFL. The issue is, wait, it's not 2013 anymore. So I want to show you his stats from the last 4 seasons. In 2019, he spent a little bit of time with the New England Patriots. Then he went over to the Seattle Seahawks. 2018, 2017. I'll be honest, when I saw his year in 2018, I really did think that he was going to come back. Not ever to the 2013 form, but at least be a solid receiver that you could rely on. But when we talk about Josh Gordon, you can't help but think of the incredible season that this guy had in 2013, in only 14 games, by the way. Led the National Football League in 1,646 yards. This was back when these type of numbers really weren't getting put up yet. The 18.9-yard average, 9 touchdowns, 87 catches, and this was all, well, on the Cleveland Browns. So we are talking about Josh Gordon, but there is another wide receiver that just keeps on popping up in the headlines, and if I was an NFL team and I'm looking at the wide receiver position, I would think, would I want maybe a player like Josh Gordon or Antonio Brown? So for this video's sake, I'm going to make this the pinned comment. That means it's going to be the very, very top comment on today's video. So for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, I want you to scroll on down and vote either Antonio Brown or Josh Gordon. It's time to get in now to the top 5, and at number 5, the San Francisco 49ers. And if you would have asked me this maybe 2 months ago, I probably wouldn't have said, no, I don't think this is a good fit for this team whatsoever. But the injury to Deebo Samuel does scare me a little bit. You could see him potentially miss the first few weeks of the season. And when you're in a division like the NFC West that basically came down to, well, 3 inches last year, every single game, every single play, that's going to count. And oh yeah, the Seattle Seahawks, they just traded for Jamal Adams. That might be enough to put them over the top. So if I'm Jimmy G, I'm Kyle Shanahan, and now John Lynch, he just got his new fresh deal. I'm looking around and I'm like, man, I like Brandon Ayuk a lot. Jalen Hurd, I know 49er fans are high on him. I might not be. Kendrick Bourne, you got some solid options, but you don't really have a real reliable veteran in there. Maybe you bring in the 29-year-old Josh Gordon, could help teach some of these players a thing or two, but at this point in his career, I think he would be best suited on this team as a wide receiver 3. But again, if you're the 49ers, you need to have at least a little bit of depth. So Josh Gordon, I'll tell you what, dude works out. Dude is in phenomenal shape. So if you haven't seen a picture of Gordon in a while, here's one where his arms, they look a lot like, I think, pretzel sticks. I mean, a normal human being's arms, they don't look like that. Do you know why Josh Gordon's arms look like that? He stays in shape and he works out. And I'm going to guess he uses Panda Sups, and y'all should too. So if you need to really motivate yourself in the gym, the pre-workout, this flavor, blue raspberry, absolutely phenomenal. You're going to be able to save 30% off at pandasups.com with code CHAT. I'll put it in the comments. It'll also be in the description. But if you're wondering, what the heck does pre-workout do? It's going to help you increase your muscle gains. You can look like Josh Gordon without taking the PEDs. You know what I'm saying? Focus, energy, get that extra pump, and it's all built in to help you get the most out of your workout. Go to pandasups.com. Use code CHAT. It's the best deal on the internet if you are looking for supplements from Panda Sups, our good friends. And yes, the show is possible because of them. All right, let's go to the next team here, the Washington football team. And it still sounds a little bit weird, I'll be honest. It does. But when you're looking at the Washington football team, you have Dwayne Haskins, and he needs a little bit of help. And this is a team that has been linked to wide receivers the entire offseason. And you're looking at another player like Haskins, who was, well, playing pitch and catch with Antonio Brown. So Washington needs more big-bodied receivers. I like Trey Quinn. I like Terry McLaurin. And, in fact, Terry McLaurin, I think, is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league. Yes, Kelvin Harmon is a bigger body as well. But, and then Antonio Gandy-Golden, I still need a little bit bigger of a body that can be reliable. And maybe, since the tight end situation in Washington is just an absolute, well, shit show, maybe you could bring in a player like Josh Gordon who could also be an extra body. They did like a Jordan Reed. And if you want to comp, I actually think Jordan Reed, when healthy, and Josh Gordon, they're pretty similar. So, hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. If you're not subscribed, then what I want you to do right now is look down at that button that says subscribe. And I want you to click it. So I don't care if you're on your phone. I don't care if you're on your desktop. I want you to click the subscribe button. We're keeping you as up-to-date as humanly possible here at Chat Sports. And, I think we have a little bit of fun, too. And if you are subscribed, I want to give you a little bit of a round of applause. All I want you to do is scroll on down and type sub. If you want to be an overachiever, let us know how long you've been subscribed for. We go in the comments, we look, and we do appreciate the people that support us here, especially during these crazy times. At number 3, it's the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you want to talk about a team, a fan base that has just been hit with some bad news around the receivers, it's been Philly. Alshon Jeffrey, he's on the PUP list, and he's been a receiver that's, well, dealt with some injuries and some off-the-field issues his entire career. Marquise Goodwin just opted out of his 2020 contract, and there's been a lot of players that have opted out. When I really saw the story around Marquise Goodwin, I don't really blame him, especially all the complications that him and his wife have had. But the Eagles, they need more wide receivers. Jeffrey, you can't rely on him. Deshaun Jackson, he's been banged up. I like Jalen Reagor a lot when he first came out of TCU, but you're asking a lot out of Reagor, and if Arcega-Whiteside is asked to put in the equation as well, you're just asking a whole lot from your young players. And this is also an Eagles team that was in the market for a wide receiver during the draft, and they were also in the market for one during free agency. It's one of the reasons why they went out and traded for Marquise Goodwin. And they wanted the speed. They wanted to be able to bring in somebody that could stretch out the field. And sure, his production for the 49ers the last 2 years wasn't quite what it was in 2017. But if you're looking for a field stretcher, guess what? I know Josh Gordon can still stretch the field. So Madden's been going out there. I've also seen a lot of people freaking out over the NFL Top 100 because their list has been, well, absolutely trash. If you agree with me, hey, go ahead, scroll on down, let me know that it's been trash. But the question that you see on screen right now is around Josh Gordon's player skill rating, all right? So make sure you're thinking you're playing Madden. 0 to 100. So if he's the worst player in the game, it's a 0. If he's the best player in the game, he's a 100. Right now, for me, Josh Gordon probably in the low 70 range. At number 2, it's the Green Bay Packers on my Josh Gordon destinations. And you're a team that was 13-3 last year, and we've talked about it a bunch here on NFL Daily that the Green Bay Packers could easily be a team that goes from being a playoff, well, one of the best teams in the NFC, to a serious regression candidate. This team needs wide receiver help. Sure, you have Devontae Adams, but then you don't really have anyone else. And maybe they thought Devin Funchess was going to solve some of their problems, but oh wait, he just opted out of his contract for this season. So now you're sitting here. You're like, who can I stretch the field with? Who can I have? How can I even make Aaron Rodgers think that we have a little bit of faith in him? I don't trust Marcus Valdes-Scantling. I don't trust Lazard. I'm sorry, I don't. Equius St. Brown, he was supposed to be good out of Notre Dame. That's not going to work out for you. So with Funchess being that piece that was maybe supposed to come in and be a halfway decent red zone option, because I've said since he's come out of Michigan, Devin Funchess is just a glorified, and I'm going to use air quotes here, glorified tight end. Josh Gordon at 29 still can bring some speed, still can bring some size at 6'3". Maybe he's a replaceable option. Maybe if the Green Bay Packers are still trying to stay on top of the NFC North and keep their quarterback happy, who is going to be in the headlines this entire week, I guarantee you that. Maybe a way to do that is by going out and getting Josh Gordon. So Josh Gordon, obviously I said he stays in shape. The BCAs, though, that I'm showing you on screen right now, the reason why they're so important is because after a workout, you need to take care of your muscles. And an easy way to do that is just taking a scoop of this stuff right here. But the real reason why I'm showing it is the deal I got for you. Only $24.50. You're going to be able to save 30% off using code CHAT at checkout. go to pandasups.com. I'm telling you right now, I use these products every single day. If you don't believe me, they're literally sitting here on my desk, okay? 30% off at pandasups.com. Use code chat. Let's go to the number one team here. It's the Seattle Seahawks. And not much of a surprise if you do watch a lot of our shows. If you are a subscriber, you'll know that we've kind of had the Seahawks linked to Josh Gordon for a long, long time. But it's not just us. It's Josh. He wants to go there too. If you follow him on Instagram, he's posted pictures on his Instagram of himself with the Seahawks, with his old teammates, with Russell Wilson. There's a report out there if he is cleared and he is reinstated in the NFL, the Seahawks will attempt to re-sign him. And this is the move that makes the most sense. Why? He played there last year. He knows the coaching staff. He knows Pete Carroll. He knows the entire team. If there's one thing that I've learned from this offseason is, well, it's unpredictable. But one thing that is predictable is the Seahawks do know Josh Gordon better than any other team, because right now with the craziness going on with COVID, it's hard to be able to get players in your locker room. And sure, 2019 for Josh and the Seahawks might not have been the best on paper, but 19.9 average, that's important out of your wide receiver 3. You have Tyler Lockett. You have DK Metcalf. If you can just get a little bit more production out of Gordon, because apparently, and fingers crossed here, the Seahawks do throw the football a little bit more. And if you are really trying to make sure that you are the best team in that division, go out and get a player like Gordon. So if you've made it this far in the video, I got a challenge for you, okay? And I appreciate everyone that watches our videos to the very, very end. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to put your phone down, put it on the table. It's all good. Or if you're watching this on your desktop, maybe you're watching this on your TV, I want you to stand up right now, and I want you to walk away for 30 to 60 seconds, okay? So on the count of 3, phone down, walk away. Ready? 3, 2, 1.